Hi, welcome to Teach With Me. I am Miss Jen. Can you guess what we're going to be talking about today? Let me show you my shirt. We are going to be talking about St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to be showing you several different activities, and I'm going to be kind of walking you through what my day would look like, what kind of things I would do to sort of set a magical tone for the day. Let's begin. Now, the very first thing the kids are going to see when they come into the classroom are footprints all over the classroom in weird places because we are pretending that the leprechauns are like this big, maybe this big, and they have small feet. And you can do this so many different ways. I'm going to show you one of the ways I used to do it and how I would do it now. All right, so this is so silly, but how I would do the footprints is you need green paint, and it needs to be tempera paint, or you're not getting it off your walls and stuff, because this would go everywhere. And I would use rocks, and a rock is the base, because remember, these little leprechauns supposedly have the little boots on. And so I'm going to make footprints just wherever I think, and the bottom of it is going to be like this. And it depends however big your rock is how your footprints are going to go. And then the top of the boot or the heel of the boot is going to be sort of like this. And that's just how I do it. Now I'm going to show you a funny way I used to do it, and before I realized that was dumb because they have shoes on, but it was still fun. I used to take my hand and I would paint like part of my hand like this as the heel of their foot, and then for some reason I thought it was cute. I would just go like this and make footprints with three, and it looks like a bear or a cat or something, or dog, whatever it is. Don't do that. That didn't fool anybody. So to reiterate, I'm going to make little shoe prints, and I use a rock now. It works much better. And you put them wherever you want to. I put them on cabinets, I put them on windows, I put them on the door, I put them in the bathroom, because we had a bathroom in our classroom. And so when the kids went to the bathroom, they say, "Miss Jen, come look." And I would say, well, I can't go in there, but what did you find? And then they would tell me, "We see footprints." And if you want to get really fun with it, you can put like glitter on top of the footprints. And let me just sort of show you a little bit while it's wet, and that they now sometimes you're going to get those super intuitive kids who say, "Oh, that looks like paint." So you have to do it the night before, as soon as all the kids leave, so that they don't so that it's dry, and so that they don't see you doing it, and then make sure all the evidence is put away. Another thing that you want to do is we had, like I said, we had a bathroom in there, so we would put food coloring in the bathroom, in the toilet, so that it was green. And then throughout the day, after we read our St. Patrick's Day stories, like how to catch a leprechaun and stuff, and I'll talk about those in a second. Throughout the day, we would pretend that we could see, I saw something over there. And so pretty soon the kids are doing that throughout the day, and it's just fun. It's just a fun day. And another fun thing that we do throughout the day for fun is all of our brain breaks, all of our little movement breaks. We do it to Irish step music. So I'll play it during calming or during a break, and then the kids can dance to it. There are YouTube videos where you can play the music, or you can watch people dance to it, and then the kids like to dance to it. So it's just a lot of fun. All right, so I also read several books. I don't have all the books I used to read to the kiddos, but here's some good ones. This one is Gail Gibbons, St. Patrick's Day. This one is nonfiction, and it goes through kind of the origin of St. Patrick's Day, so it's very cool. This one is The Night Before St. Patrick's Day, and it's kind of along the same lines as that book, The Night Before Kindergarten. And this one is The Berenstain Bears, St. Patrick's Day. I like this one too. Now, the one that I recommend for the one of the activities we're going to do is it's called How to Catch a Leprechaun, and that one is fun. It's about these kids trying to catch a leprechaun and the kind of traps that they made. Well, since that's sort of our theme, and in one of our writings, one of our activities today, we're going to be talking about what we would do if we caught a leprechaun. And so it's good to have that background knowledge. Okay, for our first activity, you are going to need to have Lucky Charms cereal. A lot of you may have done this activity before, but I'm going to give you some pointers. You need to have all the cereal, first of all, pre-packaged. It's about a cup and a half, 2 cups. I didn't measure this out, but you'll want it all to be the same, so I would measure it out if I was doing it in the classroom. You're going to put it in a Ziploc bag, because when they're done, it's going back in that Ziploc bag, and then they can take it home. You're not going to put it back in the box because the kids will have touched it and so forth. And you want the kids to have their own, so because like I said, they'll have touched it, so you'll just put their name on it. It'll, put it back in their cubbies and stuff when they're done. All right, I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's begin. All right, this is everything you'll need for the first activity, plus a worksheet. I got this one off of Teachers Pay Teachers. It's by Teaching in the Tonga. So this is hers. There are a ton of them, but I really like how she has her pictures. So this is one of the easier ones because it's got all of the different marshmallows. All right, so what you're going to do first is you're going to have the kids take their, oops, I already had it open. You're going to have the kids take their Ziploc and dump it onto the paper plate. You need to have a place for this to gather so that it doesn't get all over the floor and everything, and it doesn't get mixed up. So you don't need a sorting mat. You could have a sorting mat if you wanted to. She has a sorting mat too, but I did not print it out because I actually don't think you need it for this one. What I have them do is I have them take their marshmallows and sort of just put them where they go, and on here, and then however many they have, like when they get to the end, they'll just color that many squares. And so it's not too hard, and I have them do it like one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera for a minute and get this all sorted. All right, so it's all sorted, and so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tell them, okay, so we have one shamrock cat. I'm going to color in that square and put it back over on my plate. And we're going to do that with all of them. And so the purple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to pick those up. I'm going to put them back on my plate. I'm going to color in 6 all the way down. And so that's how I'll show them how to do the graph. And then once they're done, I'm going to say, okay, well, and we'll just talk about it a little bit. Who had, 4 shamrock cats? And then we'll do who had less than that, who had more than that, and we'll just use that as a number sort of review. And then they'll put it on the plate, and putting it on the plate has the added benefit of, I can show them that we can fold it and then scoop it into our bag that will have our name on it. All right, that's it for that one. The next activity is a leprechaun Monart, and I know we've been doing a lot of Monarts. This is going to go with our writing, our St. Patrick's Day writing, what I would do if I caught a leprechaun. This one's pretty easy. It only takes a few minutes. Unlike all of the other videos, this one is going to be on a vertical sheet. Let's do it together. I just did this one today with my little great nieces, and they're kindergarten and first grade, so this is perfectly easy. All right, so the paper is vertical, and you just tell the boys and girls, okay, boys and girls, right around the middle of the paper, we're going to make a big U shape. And you'll get different size U's, of course. And then you'll say, boys and girls, we're going to connect these 2 lines, and we're going to go further than this, further than these 2, but we're going to connect them. And I said that wrong, you guys. I'm sorry, I got all tongue-tied. I'm going to say we're going to draw a line that connects these 2 on the U shape and then make it longer on either side. Ooh, there we go. Then I'm going to say we're going to make 2 short vertical lines on either side, and then we're going to make another straight horizontal line that connects those 2. Then what we're going to do is where that U shape is, we're going to go up and we're going to make a short vertical line. We're going to do it on both sides. And then we're going to connect that. In the center of the one we just did, that one's a little wonky, but that's all right. We're going to make 2 vertical lines. This is going to be the buckle on his hat. Now to make his hat, we're going to start on this shorter rectangle corner that we just did. This rectangle that we just did, we're going to start there on that corner, and we're going to go up. Here, let me move this down just a tad. We're going to go up and kind of go out a little bit like we're going to the corner. We're going to do that on the other side. Same thing, go out like you're going to the corner. Then I'm going to connect it across. There we go, there's our wonky hat. Now, before we do his face, we're going to make his beard, and his beard is going to go along the outside of his face. So it's going to go like this. We're just going to make some wavy lines. We're going to go kind of almost to the very bottom of the paper and go all the way up and touch it where his face touches the hat. All right, so now all we have to do is to draw his mouth. So we're going to make a happy mouth and then curve it along in another curve so that he looks like he's just pleased. And we're going to make an L shape for the nose. Now we're going to make, our eyes are going to be a little different. I'm going to make oval eyes that are this direction instead of up and down, instead of vertical. And then in the center, I'm going to make these 2 curved vertical lines in the center. I'm going to kind of color the bottom part of the eyes. And he looks kind of mischievous now, right? And depending on how you do your eyebrows, he could look like he's up to no good. If you guys heard any snoring, that's my dogs. They're all sitting in here. All right. Then we'll make some eyebrows. And we'll color these in. And there we go. Let me show you how I colored it. And you don't have to color it the same way. But for the face, I had them use People Colors to color the shade that matches their own self. The beard I did orange because a lot of Irish people have red hair, and that's just how they always picture leprechauns. We did the rim or the brim and the top of the hat green. This part we did black, and then of course we did glitter. Oops, oh my goodness, that was open. We did glitter for the buckle. Now for the writing portion, we will have read the book How to Catch a Leprechaun. The kids will know that a lot of people think that if you catch a leprechaun, you can make a wish. And so before we ever do this, we're going to kind of brainstorm some things that they might wish for if they caught a leprechaun. We're not going to write it down. I just want them to start thinking. And when they get to the writing portion, they're going to be writing it themselves. This is phonics writing, and I'm going to show you. Now, you could give them a frame, especially if you want this to be with the picture that we just drew. So if I caught a leprechaun, I would wish for, and then, or you could just say I would and leave the wish for part off. And they trace this, and then on, if it was for display, you give them a piece of paper that has nothing on it. They write down what they would say, you correct it, and then they finish it on this paper. Now, if you don't want to give them a frame, then what I would do is I would write part of it on the board because, you know, spelling leprechaun is hard and caught is hard. And have them finish it on here if you don't want them to trace it at all. But I don't see a problem with it. Anyway, So if I caught a leprechaun, I would wish for, and so then what I would do is on this paper, I would say, what would you wish for? And they might say, oh, I would wish for a pot of gold, or I would wish for another sister. I'm going to write that because I've had kids say that to me. Another, and then they'll write it here. And then what we'll do is I will look at it and I'll say another sister. So if I caught a leprechaun, I would wish for another sister. Excellent. We forgot one thing though. What did we forget? Oh, a period. Okay, so go ahead and write these two words right here. And then they would then transfer what they wrote onto the other paper. So are they writing it more than once? Yes, they are. And there's nothing wrong with that, because not only does that give them practice with their phonics as they're sounding it out here, but it also gives them extra writing practice. And I'm writing this wonky, period. All right, and then they still have that extra room. So if you wanted them to write something else, you could. You can say, okay, tell me what you would do with your sister. Why would you wish for that? And then they might say something like, we would have fun. We would play. We would, and then I'm going to spell this wrong on purpose. We would play. And I'm going to say, okay, well, you did a really good job. I'm going to cross these off because we already did those. We don't want to look at those. We're on this one. We would play. I can totally read that. You did such a good job. This is correct. This would is spelled differently. I'm going to go ahead and fix that so you can write it on your paper. And I'm going to write it here. Would. It's this kind of would. We would play. So go ahead and write these three words here. And you have to cross it off so they don't get confused and write that word. And then they would put it on their final copy. Now another little thing is these sort of things are a lot of fun and can be used in a lot of different ways. This or those little gold plastic coins, you can hide throughout the classroom. So throughout the day the kids are finding little treasures. You can also use this for making patterns, putting it in a little craft. Let me show you. All right, so if you put all of these into a little box so that the kids can get to them, you can do something like this. I would do this on a big piece of chart paper, and because I'm not really sticking these on, I just wanted to show you what you could do. If you had this on a piece of chart paper, you could have the kids figure out the patterns and then put the one that comes next. So we've got big one, little, big, big, little. Next one is big, right? So they're going to be finishing patterns, and this can be an independent one. It can be something that you do together, and then you give them a worksheet where they're doing the same thing, where they're completing patterns. So you're just getting that extra practice in with something fun. And the last one is super easy. All you're going to do is make some shamrock shapes. You'll need to have this pre-done. You're going to have you can either have the kids do this or you do this part. It's up to you. I think I would do this part. You're going to write their name, and then they're going to rainbow write it, because rainbows are also associated with St. Patrick's Day. So it's going to be in rainbow order. So you'll give you a chance to talk about rainbows and the order that they're in. And you're just going to trace it. There's no wrong or right way to do this. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way through it, and you're just going to keep going over it. And when the kids are done, they will have their name written in rainbow. I'm going to go ahead and do it and show you what it looks like. Okay, this is a finished product, and it just gives them extra practice making their names and practicing their names and their color order. All right, well, I hope you found this helpful and you like some of the ideas, and I hope you have fun on St. Patrick's Day. I will see you next time.